I want to show you how we work without paying money in Google Ads. So first of all, a question to all of you. How much traffic do you buy from Google? Is it 10%, 20, or even 30 or more? I don't know. What we know is that the travel industry has accounted for $12 billion in 2016 to Google revenues, according to Skift. That's a lot of money. Back in 2011, it was only about $2 to $3 billion. So over 3 to 4 years, it grew up to 12. Expedia, Priceline, and Airbnb together making up about 50% of those spendings. So that's a huge amount of money they're spending on Google Ads. What have we invested in Google Ads to date? $0 or euros, doesn't matter which currency, nothing. Instead, we invest in content, in viral content on social media. So that sounds nice, cute, but what kind of a business can you really build on social media? You know, there's so many out there, but is it really a business? Where do we stand after 6 years? Over 30 million monthly visits to all our devices, on all kinds of devices. We're almost hitting 10 million Facebook fans, for example, on this channel. Over 10 million app downloads so far, and last year an estimated TTV of 362 million euros, even though there's a dollar sign up on the bill there. How did that begin? As so many things on social media or travel companies, it just started as a travel blog, was never meant to become a business it is today. Eventually a legal entity was founded back in 2012. Now we're operating in 10 markets, 9 in Europe and the US. These are them. And 5 offices around the world, headquartered in Berlin, Germany. There are 5 offices in Europe and 1 in Boston, in the US. 220 employees so far right now, and the thing I like to stress is that we've never taken venture capital or any other external funds to date. What we do, we just go out and find fantastic travel deals. Sounds easy, but it actually isn't. In the beginning, it was a very, very highly manual work to dig and find things. Now we've came up with algorithms and technology to help us do that, but we find all kinds of nice deals out there and then post them on social media channels, and obviously fetching for likes and shares on social media. How does that work, the traffic acquisition without classical online marketing and search engine marketing? We just fish where the fish are nowadays. Sounds easy, but you really have to go into all these different channels, understand them. They all work differently. The ones you see here and the mobile app, for example. But that just doesn't mean throwing money into new channels in order to buy traffic somewhere else instead of Google. It's about understanding the opportunities for organic growth in all these different channels, and that's a challenge too. But if you have answered those questions, you'll be able to catch the fish, obviously. So we've come up with our recipe, at least, for virality on social media, which is the motor of our traffic acquisition. There are 4 components to it. The one is authenticity. That's entertaining, authentic tone of voice that you need. Transparency, not only showing travel insights, but also openly discuss things and handle shitstorms and so on. be relevant with content deals, of course, but also address topics that are current, and call to action, be creative, controversial to foster engagement. The two components on the left, or ingredients on the left, build trust, and the two on the right give inspiration to our followers. Some examples. Authenticity by holding respective dialogues when someone gives a funny comment on one of your deals, how to handle them, or transparency by sharing tips and tricks. If you have a deal to Eurostar deal to Paris, Brussels, and Amsterdam, pointing out that it would be more worthwhile to go to Brussels than to Paris if it's over the weekend, because it's cheaper to find accommodation there. Be relevant by picking up latest news. Back in January, when Donald Trump announced not to visit the UK in February, we picked that up and said he's not coming, so you can go to London. Call to action to showing exceptional things, crazy content. This is a unicorn park somewhere, inflatable water park, whoever would like to go there. But people like to see those things. And of course, we love to inspire by beautiful pictures and movies, because we're in the travel industry, of course. For example, with this one here. Now this Airbnb is somewhere in Spain. It's incredible. It made a reach of over 20 million people in one market. So we played it obviously in almost every market we work in. One of the markets reached over 20 million, the other one's 18. And that's what people really like, that's what inspires them, and that's what keeps them tuned. So in a nutshell, stay fresh and inspired day after day, and traffic and revenue will almost come on their own. If you're not really focused on only what's the ROI, what will it bring, invest A and get B, that's not how you work on social media. You have to really inspire people, draw their attention, and everything else will come more or less on its own. What can you really build? What's the growth behind our model? So I mentioned before, we're hitting almost 10 million Facebook fans shortly. This is the growth we've seen in the last years. So it's a real dynamic growth just in this channel. The traffic development, last year we were at 320-ish million visits in 2017, so that's below 30 million in average a month. That's like 27 million. Now we're over 30 million a month, growing very, very fast. The TTV has also even grown stronger since 2015 than the traffic. As a social media company, we obviously have a lot of smartphone usage. People, you know it from yourselves as well, you go to Instagram, Facebook, and so on your smartphone, and that's where you see deals, that's where you like things, share things. So we do have a strong mobile usage. Desktop is very, very small. But the future growth, apart from social media, will also increasingly be on the messaging services. And the mobile app, of course, that never changed. Why is that so? Some of you might know this. That's not only a recent development. People spend more time on messaging apps nowadays than on social networks. So messaging apps are becoming more and more the place people are spending time. That's why we did invest in WhatsApp, for example, since 2016 or end 2015 to grow subscribers there. Just as most of you really try to grow your email subscriptions, we do have email as well, but addressing the millennial travelers and also Gen Z, WhatsApp and other messaging services make more sense. App downloads have rocketed as well the last years. Obviously, people using our app, we can address directly and communicate and send them deals. What's the competitive advantage, and why is this approach so sustainable, at least for us, and I'm quite sure it could be for you as well? Looking at the traffic breakdown last year, you see that we only paid for 7% of our traffic. 93% has reached us organically. And this is the actual breakdown from 2017, 33% organic traffic, 27% in-app, 27% also from social media, several channels, 7% paid, and that is only paid in social media, not on Google, and 6% CRM, which is where we, when we send out these notifications on WhatsApp or in-app, and also email marketing that we do. You might think, okay, they go out there and you know, get fresh, mostly fresh people and users. No, we actually have 2/3 of our traffic is our existing users, and 34 are only new, so that really proves that it's a highly sustainable ecosystem that we've created there. I really like this one because it really demonstrates what we've done. Okay, it's not a surprise that we get our highest portion of traffic from social media compared to global brands and global giants also. That's clear, but we also get a very high percentage of mobile sessions. But the most important and proving thing here is that we receive a high portion of direct traffic. And we never, as I said, never spend money in Google. We don't do TV ads, nothing. We're just a small company with 200 and a few more employees, and receive more direct traffic to our systems than Expedia, for example. So, closing up, even though we only invest in social media, we managed to build a real brand outside of social media as well. Or maybe it's actually because. Best of luck for your social media endeavors, and I'm open for questions later on, hopefully. Thank you.